Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 2 of the British and Irish Professional League. My name is Ryan. This week, I am joined by Doc and Trackmania legend himself, Tween, over on the analyst desk. We're going to be getting into some Div 2 matches to start things off here. Our first match on stream will be match 4. This will be between Xocto, GnuGuy, Burntbagels, and Killian. Xocto from England, GnuGuy from Northern Ireland, Bagels also from England, and Killian from the Republic of Ireland. Week 1 was a banger. I don't know if you caught it, Doc.
Yeah, there were some really good games, and some interesting seeding as well. We are actually going to be watching the top seed in Div 2, so be interested to see how he stacks up against some of these players, especially someone like Bagels. I think seeded much lower than what his actual ability is, so we'll see if he's actually had time to practice on these maps. We'll see where he ends up, because I think that's going to be the main fight here.
And obviously a big welcome to Tween as well, joining us for the first time on the broadcast. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing just fine, and I'm very stoked to see some Trackmania action from the island,
Yeah, I mean, how familiar are you with the British players? Obviously, there's quite a few up at the top. You know, you've got your Pack, obviously, the most well-known British player. Epos making a name for himself in Trackmania Esports as well. Wizzy, haven't seen Bosbez up there yet, but definitely a big name for sure. What's your overall impression of the British and Irish professional scene, if you have one?
Well, it's obviously I do. I mean, I can see that there are many guys that are very talented, and there's going to be like this coming up for them, and yeah, it's great that they have like an arena to prove themselves. So that's great. I also have like a personal maybe interest in the player Leo, who is also a Trackmania legend, and I know that he's participating, and I can't wait to see him play.
Yeah, he'll be featuring on our third match of the evening. I guess we can go and look at the leaderboards as well. Just before we get into this, I'm trying to hurry things along as we had a bit of a delay with stream, but if we can take a look at the leaderboard very quickly. Right now in Div 2, OC 1895 and Killian. That's Div 1 producer guy. We want Div 2, please. But I could say anyway, OC is currently at the top, had a 15-point week, perfect week for him, coming first in this match and gaining all 3 points for the fastest laps. That's still Div 1. And then we've got Killian. There we go. Killian next, 14 points, winning his match, 2 fastest laps, followed then by Steg, Koza, Rebel, and GnuGuy. This match that we're going to be seeing on stream does feature Killian and GnuGuy. So 2nd versus 5th. We've also got Xocto in there as well, currently in 8th. And Bagels, who didn't have the greatest first week, finishing in last place, but was a player that in Season 2 beat his seed significantly and improved throughout the competition. So we'll be seeing how he's warming up. And obviously, we have a new map this week as well. Have you had a chance to discover it, Doc?
I have. Yeah, it's a very nice spec map. It's so this week we are saying goodbye to the mine map for now, which was definitely on the easier side of the map pack. And so, as map number 4, there's been an also slightly easier map introduced, so it never ends up too weighted either way, because we're starting off with 2 very difficult maps. Jordae's Drowsy, Jordae and Mephisto building Drowsy, which is a fantastic map, and then Kerberos making Real. And then when we get on to Gone, the spec map, I think a lot of people will be surprised. It's sort of unorthodox in many ways, but it's a good fun map. It was picked because it's fun, and hopefully the players see it that way at least.
Have you got any experience on the maps, Tween? Have you at least seen them driven?
I've seen the top records, and yeah, I mean, they seem very tight actually. They seem very difficult to me, and yeah, I'm actually really excited to see the players tackle them on in a round setting.
Yeah, maps are definitely challenging, shall we say. But yeah, I think we're almost about ready to get into our first match here, Players House. So I think at this point we'll say goodbye to Tween for the time being, but we will be back with you after this match to break it all down, digest it all. But it will be myself and Doc taking you through this one for round 2 in Division 2, and then we'll be moving on to our 2 Division 1 matches a bit later on. I guess we can talk about this match a little bit more, Doc. Do you have a favorite going into this? Do you think Killian, as the second on the leaderboard coming into this, is going to clean up here, or does he have real competition in GnuGuy and possibly Octo?
I think he will take the clean sweep personally. Killian's someone who I sort of, without even me really realizing, has rocketed up the leaderboards from last season, and just in terms of skill as well. I think he's got a lot of experience over the last year or so playing EMC and that type of thing with Split that has definitely stood him in good stead for things like this. I did not realize that GnuGuy was that high up, currently in 5th in the leaderboard. So I'm ready to be stood corrected. I'm ready to have him prove to me that he is, you know, deserving of that position, because I didn't realize he had seeded that high. My money was on Bagels, but yeah, we are into the first round here. And we will see how we go on Drowsy here. Everyone taking the first reactor section very nicely, neck and neck currently as we go into the first jump drift section, which is very tricky. I believe the streamers are still watching us.
Yep.
He's gonna have to describe everything to
Dink donk, Chris.
Chris, please.
Change scene, please.
Well,
no, it's not.
I think I can still see it.
Well, you're not streaming me the game.
Well, it's a very close round if you can see it.
No,
You're lucky enough to be watching it.
The wrong. You're streaming us the about to go live window, aren't you? Instead of the this is what streamers actually seeing.
Well, either way, it's Killian and Bagels who are out.
I still see
front at the
myself.
moment. Bagels is about to take the first win, and he does here. Bagels with a 103.7, not a bad time. Killian about 0.2 behind him here. Oxo in 3rd, and GnuGuy bringing up the rear with a early -10 points.
You're gonna have to keep talking, man. I can't see anything.
Oh no. As we go into round 2, we're going full on old school radio style. I have to describe everything. Once again, everyone relatively clean through the reactor section. Octo with a little bit of airtime, but everyone's still neck and neck as we go into the jump drift section. And now into the dirt. Only GNU going for the double outside dirt line. Doesn't seem to pay off too much. He finds himself sliding slightly further behind. Bagels and Killian out front again, but Octo catching up. It looks like Bagels has actually had time to play these maps this time around. Nobody clips the ramp, and Bagels hits the wall there. And GnuGuy is going to take over first place as it stands, with Octo challenging Killian for 2nd place. Into the tricky grass section. GnuGuy with a wonky line, and Octo's going to take first place here, but goes very wide on the reactor uphill. Killian with the inside line, but not enough speed, and it's going to be Octo here, who doesn't take it because he hits the risky finish. That is a missed opportunity. GnuGuy takes the win with a 104.5, second slower than the previous round. So, a very sketchy round all round there from all of the players. And GnuGuy benefiting from it the most, ending up still in 2nd place after the original 10-point loss. And I believe that Ryan can still at least see us.
Yep.
As we go into round 3.
Okay, we're good. I don't know if I'm watching the stream output or the game output, but I can see cars on the track. Now you're going to have to fill me in what's gone on here. Bagels, surprisingly, into the lead here, and he dropped 4 points so far, so good start from Bagels. GnuGuy on 90, and then it's Octo and Killian bleeding the most points so far. I said that last week that Bagels potentially might not have had the best training or been able to train as much, but was doing much better until I joined, and now he's 10 seconds behind. So maybe I should leave again for a few more rounds, and he might come back again.
Yeah, but GnuGuy here with a solid round so far. He's being chased down by Killian. It's going to come down to who can get the tighter line along here and keep the most speed out of it. Killian goes tight and gets the speed this time much nicer. And he is going to take home the win here. Yes, he does. No mistakes this time around. Is Bagels going to be able to finish?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Yes,
okay, good.
is the answer.
Couple of good rounds from him. Sort of lost his advantage there by taking that minus 10 points. And we find 3 people on 86 and Octo trailing. 79 points.
Yeah, in terms of pure seeding, Killian was actually the top seeded player for Div 2. Behind him, you then had Octo in 7th, then GnuGuy in 8th, and then Bagels in 13th. So they weren't too far apart in seeding, but GnuGuy definitely having a good first week, putting himself quite far up the leaderboard, up into 5th. Obviously, Killian having the best first week out of all of these players, won his match and had 2 fastest lap times as well. We'll keep an eye on those for you too, because obviously we had a situation last week where potentially the player in second had all of the fastest lap points, and in doing so pretty much tied with the player that ultimately finished first and held on to their points the longest. So that can happen in this format.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting as well, because it means, you know, in that 1v1 situation, the player that is potentially significantly behind can risk more, go for those fastest laps, because they know ultimately that they're not going to win the match.
Yeah, it's an incentive to not full safe everything, and you know, an incentive for more sort of glass cannon style players who are just fast but unreliable to pick up the odd point here and there. Obviously, you'd expect the person who's winning to pick up most of the fastest lap points. I believe Killian has just taken the fastest lap on that, so he has secured his point this time round. Could be wrong, but I think he has. As we move on to the Kerberos map. So a tight game all round so far. We have, believe, only 6 points between everyone. I mean, it's tough to make a prediction so far, but everyone having, you know, some tough rounds on Drowsy there. How do you think it's going to play out on Creole?
Yeah, another hard map for sure. I don't know who was best on this last week. I mean, probably Killian, just given his week 1 performance. But we go into it with the scores pretty even, to be honest. Everyone having an equal-ish performance on that first map. So we'll see if this one is able to split the field a little bit more. But yeah, my personal opinion, Killian hasn't really been able to create that gap yet that we thought we might see from him. Potentially this map might be the one for him to do that.
Yeah. I think he played very well on this one last week. I think I possibly streamed him. But yeah, he's very strong and very consistent on this map. We'll see if he can produce it again this week around, this time around. Because Bagels is looking like he does have the pace this time. He is fighting up the top with Octo at the moment on this map. Down the tricky dirt downhill, very easy to lose the gear there. As Bagels needs to overdrift and lose the gear, but doesn't lose too much time over Octo. Takes back over first place. Killian finds himself 0.2 adrift, 0.3 adrift with the top two head Bagels. Excellent. Perfect for Killian. Yep. He is now chasing down Octo.
Yeah, clip for Bagels there. I remember last week casting him with Nua on this map. Just didn't have the consistency, didn't have the pace or consistency. You could see that the training was not quite there, but definitely looking more in contention this week. A slight clip has put him only about a second behind, but no major mistakes for Bagels there. All the other players driving cleanly, and a nice time as well from Octo, 57.4. But yeah, the field staying pretty even. Octo on 79, Killian on 78, GnuGuy on 69,
On
and
the nice
Burntbagels
number.
on 69 as well. So, well, a very nice number. All players
nice.
still within 10 points.
Yeah, and we see. Oh, so he's just getting started. Is that GnuGuy there? It's unfortunate for him. He's likely to pick up a -10 on this round. Yeah, we see some different lines on this map. I don't know if it was just that Killian was ultra safing there. As Bagels goes into the wall and downhill dirt, and is that Octo's just hit the inside on the reactor as well? But yeah, we see some different lines in the dirt section at the end. I'm not sure if that was maybe just Killian full safing, just taking the second place, not wanting to make any further mistakes. But Octo going full outside on the last dirt section, getting a lot more speed out of it compared to Killian. And we'll see if that was just a tactical decision or if Killian thinks that he can actually get a faster line by going inside. Goes inside again. Maybe just saving it because he's got hard on.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a short-term gain. But, I mean, he was in a battle last time and went full inside, and you could see the speed that Octo carried on the outside, and that ultimately won him the round. And I think Octo definitely driving the more, like, conventional line, I want to say there.
It feels better to do the outside line. I'm not sure why Killian's not going for
it. Does he know? Question mark.
Does he know? Question. I thought he did it last week. Who knows? Maybe I'm completely clueless on lines on this map, but maybe not an outside turn gyro. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it can be risky to go for the outside turn. There's a lot of areas in this map that are very, very risky. So maybe you just don't want to take all of them in one round. Octo goes a little bit wide over this reactor penalty stand, fragile, whatever it is, and Killian overtakes the lead.
Yeah, GnuGuy with a small clip, Bagels making a bigger mistake. So once again, it's between Octo and Killian here. Killian with a 0.2 advantage at the moment, but we'll see if this line on the dirt hampers him. We'll see how much Octo is able to gain, goes full outside, carries the speed back. I don't know, it doesn't seem that much different that round. If anything, Killian pulled away slightly. I'm really not sure now, It always seems to me like the outside line is faster because you carry more exit speed, but I don't know. I'm not sold. Killian might be onto something here.
Maybe he's got the calculator out and worked out the different lines. Because I suppose you do immediately lose the speed afterwards with the harsh right-hander onto the
yeah.
platform. So maybe it doesn't translate into actually faster checkpoints afterwards.
We'll see what the Div 1ers later do, and then we'll probably have a better idea of what's faster and what's not. But we do have a little bit of a split going on in the field now, as GnuGuy and Burntbagels both on 52 points. Killian and Octo both still on 70 plus. So yeah, this map is definitely splitting the field in half here.
Yeah, especially as it looks like GnuGuy is going to pick up another -10 here. And Bagels also in line to pick up a -7 unless he can sort of close this gap here. He's nipping at the heels of Octo. You get a slightly better drift. He gets more speed, but goes slightly wide. Still makes it through. Okay, Bagels and Octo both pushing the outside dirt. And yeah, I think he might be right. I think it doesn't really. Oh, Bagels just by going slightly further right, picks up that second place. And he's opening up a little bit more of a gap down to GnuGuy now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we'd seen a clean round from Bagels up until that point, but does manage to get an important second place there. So yeah, GnuGuy at the back at the moment. He's currently second on the leaderboard in terms of the 4 players here. So potentially the third map might be a good hunting ground for him to claw some well-earned points back. And this is the first time we'll be seeing this map on stream. New for this week, the map from Spec, whose name I've forgotten, funnily enough. Fill me in on that.
Gone. It is called Gone.
See, it was gone from my memory.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah. Take me off the cast. Take me off the cast straight away.
No, it was not deliberate.
Oh, right,
no, absolutely not.
Fair enough. I'll let you off then. Yeah, so it's an interesting map. It's one that doesn't particularly feel like a more traditional comp map. There's some very weird sections. We're just going over the wood in the warm-up. There is water, which granted the water doesn't do a huge amount in terms of areas that you can gain some pace. But yeah, it's got those fancy new grass blocks dotted around. Yeah, it's a good one. It's fun, but a couple of weird bits. So yeah, we are going into the first round, and we will see how people can handle it.
Well, you guys couldn't see, but GnuGuy in the warm-up there showing that Risky Finn is indeed risky. Didn't have the speed because, yeah, you've got to get that outside dirt going downhill pretty perfect if you want to maintain the speed and get up that ramp, get into the Risky Finn. And
Yeah.
he just clipped the back wheel in the warm-up, which you wouldn't have seen, but cost him a few places. And there is the first yep tree of this round. And we'll be saying goodbye to GnuGuy in this round. So not having the best time of it right now. Bleeding points. This will be 2 rounds in a row that he finishes in last, and that is 20 points bled to his nearest rival, Burntbagels.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say that Bagels seems to be getting more confident. He's just made a mistake, and Octo has taken second place over from him. But yeah, GnuGuy over here has got to really focus on not letting Bagels get too far away. He's his main contender at this point. Killian's touched the outside of the dirt, and Bagels might take the win, but Octo snipes him.
No, he won't.
Bagels lands on the road border. Octo snipes him. Sorry.
Yep.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said that there was a big chance there for Bagels, obviously, to get a much-needed win. Haven't seen him win in ages. That ultimately finishes in second place there. Killian had a good round right up until that touch, was a good half a second up the road and looked comfortable on the map. But yeah, that one touch put him significantly behind Octo and Bagels. GnuGuy having another howl of 32 points now. The gap between himself and Bagels is 12, and that is, who was that with the touch? GnuGuy. Another touch puts him down the back of the field.
Bagels
not having the best round right now.
Bagels gets airtime over the grass and finds himself in third place. So not a massive points difference between the two. If Bagels can pick up another first or second place, that would be more worrying for GnuGuy. But Bagels hits the wall again, and I think it is going to be a 2-horse race up the top. And it's one that we haven't really been focusing on because of the fight at the back. But Octo and Killian are only 7 points apart here, so only a couple of rounds, and Octo could be back in this. Goes very wide on the plastic for more speed.
Octo had a very good seeding. I think we were watching the Div 2 seeding, and yeah, he was doing great. Seems very comfortable on this map as well. Like we'd expect Killian pretty far up the road as Bagels going for that safe in last place. But yeah, Octo actually bringing the fight to Killian here. Octo, I believe, is currently in 8th place in the standings.
Bagels came last. Bagels just got a minus 10.
Seeding?
No, just then.
Oh, he must have made a big
GnuGuy was
mistake
miles
then, and
behind.
GnuGuy overtook, yeah.
Bagels must have... Oh, right.
Oh, that's a clip for Bagels.
That's going to cost him, that is.
As well, yeah. That's a costly tap.
But yeah, Octo looking comfortable at the moment. We'll see whether he can keep it up. He's closed the gap between first and second to only 3 points at this stage. And in this round, he is currently ahead. Has to release on the drift, and Killian is going to take over the lead here. As we head into the dirt.
I would say Killian definitely looked better on maps 1 and 2. But Octo, I would say, is actually proving to be a fairly fierce competitor on this map. Has a small slowdown there. I'm not sure what caused that.
Yeah, clip across the platform edge. It's unfortunate. He also lost the gear on the previous dirt, and there goes GnuGuy flashing across my screen. It's going to be a bit of a procession with everyone multiple seconds apart from each other. Killian picks up the win with a 101.8, which I believe is also the fastest time point acquired. Oh no, we have one more round, so other people have the option to, well, the potential to steal that back. But Killian in line to get both of the fastest, possibly all 3 of the fastest laps so far. Bagels has map 1. Bagels has map 1. Yes. Yeah. So that is locked in for Bagels as well. So even if he doesn't get the result that he wants within the leaderboard, he will have that extra point for the first round as Octo gets a no slide and hits the pole on that uphill drift. And GnuGuy and Bagels here, the two coming up the rear, are fighting it out at the top. GnuGuy has to do a massive release for that drift. That is unfortunate. Bagels here with a 0.2 lead over Killian so far. If he can keep this gear on the uphill, he does.
Well,
Into this
Killian
very funky drift.
Killian with a bigger mistake though.
Oh.
Did not get the outside dirt right at all. Just landed awkwardly. Oh, Bagels on the wood, face first.
Oh no.
That's the sensitivity of the wood driving for you. Didn't have his action keys turned on clearly, and has just driven it straight into the pole there. And here is GnuGuy. Can he make the finish?
Oh,
just about. Had
just.
a bit of a wobble. Burntbagels has missed the safe fin. Is that going to allow Octo to come back through? Does Octo have the speed? No way. Oh, it was close.
Oh.
Half a second in the end. But yeah, Octo with a -10. That is going to help Killian because Octo was looking racy on this map.
Yeah, he's dropped himself 13 points behind. That is unfortunate for him. I thought we were going to see a real battle at the top there. At one point, the gap reduced to only 3 points, and now, unfortunately, he's opened it back up to 13 points. And we go back onto a match where, a map where Killian was looking much more consistent and comfortable. So yeah, the match records are now locked in as we have gone through the first rotation, and I've completely forgotten what they were.
It's Killian with 2 points. He has got Creel and Gone, and Bagels 1 point for Drowsy, which we are back on now. So building on that point, Drowsy potentially Bagels' strongest map, and he's currently got what 17 points. Last place by 1 point to GnuGuy. So you'd have to say right now with Killian and Octo on 50 plus apiece, that it's going to be a battle for third between Bagels and GnuGuy, and then the battle for first between Killian and Octo.
Yep,
so
definitely.
This is the map for Bagels really to put GnuGuy on the back foot and try and eliminate him.
Yeah, GnuGuy will be feeling the pressure now with knowing how strong Bagels is on this map, and being on the exact same amount of points as him, or well, 1 point ahead. We could see either one of them drop into last chance within this four-round rotation. And to be honest, my money is on GnuGuy, unfortunately, because of Bagels' performance on this map. But we see GnuGuy off to an early lead here, and Bagels around half a second behind.
Wait, did they change the map? Did they put a thing in the hole so people don't clip anymore?
Yes, we don't talk about that. And GnuGuy on the very tricky dirt section. So does Bagels. What is going on?
It's Killian and Octo still up the front though.
Oh, Bagels
fighting with
GnuGuy.
Okay, Bagels has presumably hit a wall somewhere. Yep, 3 seconds behind now.
Found himself magnetised to the wall.
We were bigging him up, weren't we? Saying, oh, this is the strongest map. He's got the fastest lap point, but 8 seconds behind Octo and Killian. But yeah, this battle is one we want to focus on. That's an insane line from Killian, though. Octo has slightly more speed. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. Ooh. Killian there pushing it on the grass reactor, gets into the lead and holds it for a 10th at the line. So yeah, Killian now has just got to try and farm Octo's points slowly down. I feel like Bagels and GnuGuy are gonna drop slowly. Yeah, it's a -12 for Bagels.
Bagels doesn't finish.
Oh no.
Yeah, so another thing that I just noticed there that Killian needs to be aware of is that he is going for a very high jump into the risky finish, whereas Octo is going for a much lower, flatter line, which gained him, I think, about 0.15 in the end there. So if he's not careful, he's going to get sniped on these rounds. As we see Bagels again around about half a second behind, and GnuGuy going for the ultra risky, well, not ultra risky, but the riskier dirt line, which keeps him up in the mix at the top here, finds himself in second. fighting with Octo. Octo jumping over the dirt. GnuGuy drops the gear. Is he going to make this without clipping? Yes, just. Goes for a tight drift. And Bagels appears to be catching up. He's closed the gap. Oh no. I was about to say he's closed the gap, but he's just expanded again. And Killian here finds himself out front again, but not out of sniping distance of Octo. Or GnuGuy for that matter, as Octo goes more inside on the grass than GnuGuy. GnuGuy could get sniped here by Bagels as well. Oh, just keeps his position.
Wow. Great round there. All the players within half a second. One of the only clean rounds I think we've seen from everyone. There was a small clip from Bagels at the start, but did manage to catch up. Unfortunately, finds himself on last chance. So I feel like it's going to be between him and GnuGuy as to who gets eliminated first. So we'll keep an eye on those two for potential mistakes. And then I think we are going to see kind of the grand final of this match between Killian and Octo. Once GnuGuy and Bagels drop out of the match.
Yeah, GnuGuy here has got to pick up a win to not drop into last chance this round.
Yep.
Which I can't see happening with how Killian is performing currently on this map. But as I say that, he's currently overtaking Killian. Is he going to drop the gear on the dirt? No. Yes.
Bagels does.
Bagels does as well. But GnuGuy still finds himself in second. But it's very close at the back here. Octo with a 0.2 lead over everyone else. And then everyone else all clumped together behind. It's going to come down to this last reactor section again. And the risky finish. GnuGuy goes really inside. But drops the gear. Doesn't have a whole lot of speed, but he might pick up a second place here. He does, but it's not enough to save him from last chance. Oh, Bagels with another -10 and finds himself out.
Great round there. Bagels actually overtook Killian on that uphill reactor, but dropped the gear just afterwards. So eliminated 2 4th places in a row in rounds 1 and 2. GnuGuy drops to last chance, and you'd have to say there's no way that he's going to be able to survive in this match. Might be able to hold on for a round or two, but ultimately I think the contest for first place is going to be between Killian and Octo, who've been battling it out all match long.
I mean, I'd love to see GnuGuy stick around, but yeah, I can't see it happening for that many rounds.
I'm not praying or wishing upon his demise, but it just feels like an inevitability.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so the points repartition at this point changes as well, so first also starts losing points. So things are going to start getting heated very soon. That 42 and 56 points will quickly evaporate. But GnuGuy does find himself around about half a second behind Octo and Killian here. He's going to take a mistake at the end to save him. Goes very wide on the grass, doesn't have great speed. Is someone going to miss the risky? Both go relatively safe. And GnuGuy also finds himself out, but should be happy to pick up a 3rd place there.
Yep, neither player surviving on last chance for more than a round. But I feel like this is going to be quite the 1v1 between Killian and Octo. Killian currently on, I think it was 54 points, Octo on 36. I would say Octo's strongest map was definitely gone.
Yes.
Killian seems to have his number on the other two, has both fastest lap points for Creel and Gone, though. I don't know. It seemed like Octo was more consistent, but Killian's ultimate pace was just that little bit faster. Will be a very close fight, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to call. I mean, possibly slightly more pressure on Killian here, coming in as first seed in seeding, obviously, and also first from last week. Possibly a lot of pressure on him to perform at that high level, get as many points as he can, because he knows that OC is probably nipping at his heels. I'm not sure what the results in the other games have been. But yeah, I mean, I'd say the pressure's off on Octo here. He's seeded. Well, I can't remember what he's seeded, but he's currently in around about 8th.
7th.
Ah, right. So he's performing at his seed currently. So a 2nd place is doing nicely. So yeah, I think pressure's off him. He can just drive how he likes, and it's just whether he can, pile the pressure onto Killian, get him to make some mistakes. I
Yeah.
believe we are going into the first round.
I mean, Killian at this point with a win would be 14 points. With a second place would be 11, so it wouldn't be disastrous
No.
if Oxo were to beat Killian, because he does have those 2 fastest lap points, so he would only be essentially 1 shy of just a match win. But yeah, it would be really big for Octo's season, actually, because he didn't have the strongest week last week, currently in 8th place, so slap bang in the middle of the table. Even a second place would probably put him that little bit higher, but yeah, ultimately that first place would put him maybe in top 4 contention if he's able to carry that kind of consistency in his performance onto future rounds and onto next week.
Yeah, I mean, GnuGuy was in 5th, I believe, on the table, so it's likely that Octo will be closing in on that or possibly overtaking him. Yeah, so I think we could see a lot of names jumping around on the leaderboard when we get back into that, as Octo does take the first round here on Priel. But yeah, the repartition for points has changed, so he still gets a -4. So yeah, he finds himself down on 32, but Killian on 46. Not an insurmountable difference between them. A couple more rounds like that, and Octo will be reeling him right back in.
Yeah, so they have a 12-point gap at the moment. So for Octo to be level on points with Killian, he needs to beat him in 3 rounds. Obviously, before he loses all of his own points. He's done 1 into a lead here as well, driving pretty consistently. Killian has a bit more speed on the penalty sand with the reactor boost, and is going to get a good exit here. There's a small little touch there, but it's enough to put him a second behind and potentially out of contention in this round.
Seemed to be really pushing it across that reactor section. Nearly clipped the inside of the very first CP, and then just clips the inside of the reset block as well. And Killian here just going to play it safe and presumably take home the victory. It's not a particularly risky finish.
It is if you're Killian.
Oh god!
Oh no! Oh dear!
I'm so
I didn't want to
Killian.
say anything because we have seen players miss that risky.
Oh.
Killian, man, had the round in the palm of his hand and threw it away. Difference is now just 10 points.
There's 2 of the 4 that Octo needed to reel him back in. That is the only time I have seen anyone fail that finish in a round.
I think we saw it last week. I saw Josh fail it, I want to say.
Ah, right, okay.
But yeah, I haven't seen many people fail it, to be honest. It is a rarity. Killian obviously feeling the pressure, feeling the heat that Octo is putting on. But yeah, I don't think we'll see another failure there. It is just aim, lol. You know?
Just drive it, honestly. But yeah, Killian finds himself around about 0.1 behind here as well. Octo goes to the outside dirt, gets the speed.
Always close.
It could be close here. I think Killian
always close.
Oh, he just takes it.
Yep. It was even going full left there. Still not able. Octo still wasn't able to get back at him. So yeah, 14-point gap restored, and Octo's points are coming down. I don't know. I think it'll be decided on the next map, really, because Octo, to me, seemed to be the better performer there.
Yeah.
He's putting up a great show here, to be fair. It's just that one clip that we've seen from him so far. Potentially that inside dirt line from Killian faster? I don't
that's
know.
what I was just trying to figure out.
I was looking at that, and Killian was definitely behind going into that section, but was still able to carry the speed after the drift and just snipe the win away. So yeah, it's a weird one. Really difficult to see if there's a clear advantage either way.
Yeah, Octo had around about a 0.12 lead at that point, and then yeah, just I mean, even though he got more speed out of his turn,
let's see here. They're like neck and neck. Octo coming back with more speed,
and then back to neck and neck. Maybe it's roughly similar.
I think it's about the same. Another insane round.
Oh,
27 thousandths in the previous round, 30 thousandths in this round, but the finishing order the same. Killian first, Octo second. Back to Cam. Map change. I was like,
is a
this is
map
not
change.
over yet. He's
Map
still got 12 points. What do you mean? No.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
so-
go on to what is presumably Octo's favorite map. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe he doesn't like it, but maybe he's just good at it. But yeah, it's one that definitely appeared to favour him on the first rotation. So although Killian's got the lead on this one, well, actually, he's extended the lead. We'll see if Octo can try and claw a little bit of it back as we move on to Gone by Spet.
Yeah. 18-point gap between Killian and Octo in favour of Killian at this point. It's starting to seem harder for Octo to come back. I think they went evens on the previous map. Killian winning 2, Octo winning 2. So there's not a lot to separate them, and if they continue going completely even, it will ultimately be Killian that takes the victory, because Octo does have that points deficit. I can tell you in the warm-up that Killian is driving a very clean round and is currently ahead. Yeah, was able to drive 0.3 faster
117.
in the warm-up, so if that's anything to go by. Actually, Killian setting a PB there. Not a PB, a local record.
A local, yeah, 101.7 is not a bad time. We'll see whether he can translate that into actual rounds. That's when it matters. We'll see. But all neck and neck through the start here. As we go into the first drift, no sliding and hitting the pole this time round, but it looks like Octo's got it better. Killian going very close to everything. But with a slightly better line out of this section as we go into the strange downhill drift, gets in very nicely, a lot more speed. Into the water, finds himself around about 0.1 ahead. Now the uphill dirt. Drops the gear, and this is a chance for Octo here. I think he also dropped the gear.
Yeah, I think Octo
Possibly.
dropped the gear as well. Yeah, I could hear it. So Killian currently 0.2 ahead as we go onto the plastic. Octo takes a much wider line here compared to Killian's tighter one. And Octo does close up with a bit more speed. Does he touch the outside here? No, he's very close, but it seems like this is pretty much exactly what we saw in the warm-up. Killian 101.5. That is a bullish time from Killian. Octo also improving his record as well. Great round from both players, putting up their maximum performances, but ultimately Killian still the player coming out on top for the time being. Octo, only 4 points left. No matter what happens in this round, he will be dropping down to last chance.
Yeah, he will be, unfortunately. But yeah, both players looking like they have sort of grown into this match as it's gone on. Both of them believe in improving their PBs on this map by over half a second compared to the first rotation. But unfortunately, it's only the first rotation that counts in terms of points. With Killian, I believe, picking up the additional point on this map as well.
Yes.
And he currently has a 0.46 lead over Octo on this one, but he slides off the edge of the dirt.
He's done that twice now. Saw him do it earlier, and this time he has given Octo, I say a golden opportunity. It doesn't matter that Octo is in the lead because he's dropping down to last chance no matter what. So if there was ever a round for Killian to make a mistake, it was this one, because the finishing order doesn't really determine anything. Although Killian will lose 8 points here, so for Killian's situation, not great. For Octo's situation, doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So we could see this all over and done with in the next round.
How many rounds in a row would it be? He'd
lose 8.
that Octo has to win in a row, which is
Yes,
not
to win it.
not
overall,
out
yeah.
of the question.
No, but 2 of those would be on Drowsy, where I
That's
believe
also
Killian
true.
is stronger. But again, still, anything's possible. But yeah, Killian does look like he has grown into the stronger player in this match as it's progressed, with only 2 people left in it. Oh, Octo risks the drift, and they both end up neck and neck again coming to this water section. Go too wide this time. But Octo, not with the best dirt line. Killian goes much further outside. But they're all neck and neck again. Oh, Octo goes wide. Killian also goes wide. Be interested to see if any of them got the Cam
Full
Do
inside
bug there.
Killian.
Octo with much more speed with the wider plastic line. The bumpy over the dirt. Can't get the outside
Killian's gonna
line.
have
It's
more
going to be
speed.
Killian taking it here.
Surely, unless he misses. No,
Yeah.
it is Killian. First time of asking, delivers 101.7. Great time there, but a great round from both players. Killian in first, Octo second, GnuGuy third, Burntbagels fourth is the finishing order there. Killian extending his lead, cementing his place in the top two with, that's funny, 14 points remaining and 14 points gained from the match. But at this point, we will welcome back Tween, who I'm sure has been eagerly waiting in the wings to deliver some top tier analysis on what we've just witnessed. What were your take homes from that match, Tween?
So hello. I mean, well done to all the players. It was a great match. I would go from the bottom of the standings. I think Bagels was. I mean, he had a lot of like, I would say opportunities or like these bright moments, but I think he was the fakiest of the players, and it was pretty apparent, especially to the second half of the match. So unfortunately, he took home the last place, but yeah, I mean, uh, I would say that the crucial point of the match was the final 1v1 with the top two guys, and yeah, I think Killian was just very confident all throughout the match, and he played some safe rounds at the beginning, but he was just making sure that he doesn't get last or he doesn't crash like majorly. And in the end, we saw him basically flip it on his head, especially in that final nail biting round with he just like pushed the outside dirt very hard, and it was the right time to do that. So props to him, and also props to Octo for keeping up and putting up a great fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Doc,
indeed.
you
Very
mentioned
nice.
as well that Killian kind of warmed up as the match went on, seemed to be getting more confident. Did you think at any point that Octo could like really challenge, or did it kind of look like Killian's to lose from the start?
I think by the time we got around to the second rotation of Drowsy, when there was only, well, it got down to only 3 points in it at one point, I thought there was a real chance that Octo was going to take it, because I mean, he looked like he was in the ascendancy at that point. He closed the gap down to Killian, and he'd also opened up a gap down to Bagels and GnuGuy. And yeah, so I feel like he just didn't quite capitalize on that momentum through Friel. Whether that's because he had a couple of dodgy rounds, or I think it was more that Killian just turned on the pace at that point, and really sort of put the game to bed. Taking home 2 wins on Friel, and then just dominating on Gon as we got back around to that one. But yeah, it was a good game in the end. Good game.
Yeah, well, thanks for the praise.
Speaking of, we
Yeah,
are joined by Killian.
Yeah, congratulations, man. Well done on that win. Were you getting a bit nervous there about Octo, or was it all under control?
No, I think the nerves were definitely in the start of the match, but by the end, I was pretty chill. But yeah, he started driving really well, which was like made some really good rounds at the end.
Yeah, you got those 2 fastest lap points locked in on the first rotation. Do you know who got the other one? If you
Yeah, I
can
think
guess?
it was Bagels.
Yeah, correct. It
Yeah.
was Bagels on the first map. So you come away with 14 points, exactly the same as last week, and that should probably cement your position as top 2, although obviously we do have another round to play tonight. Do you know who you've got for that one?
Well, in the server at the moment, it's just Baron Bread, but I think I've got Rebel, and I can't remember the fourth.
Palubara.
There we go, yeah.
Any questions for Killian, Doc, Tween?
I would ask if I believe that maybe at the start of the match, it felt like you played some kind of a safer lines, I would say, especially on Creel and on Drowsy. And I was wondering if that was deliberate and it was like a decision made before the match, or if you just adapted during the match and you just like tried to keep the first place and you know, like not push too hard for round wins and just keep Octo at bay.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thinking behind it. Also, that I just get really nervous at the start of matches, so I have to like play some safe rounds to get rid of the nerves where I can actually start like pushing. It's kind of annoying that well, unlucky, not annoying, that the like fastest match times are only in the first round, but I mean, it is what it is.
Nice,
So,
well done then.
how do you fancy your chances in the league overall now? Then, now that you've had a couple of games to settle in, do you think you
Yeah,
can take the whole league? Are you looking forward to the OC showdown in the last week?
yeah, that match is going to be really good. I can't wait for that. Yeah, I feel a lot more confident now, actually. Especially after, I mean, last week's performance was not great for me, to be honest, but I think I played a lot better in that match, and I had harder opponents, so yeah, I'm happy about it.
Nice. Well, if there's anything else that you guys wanted to ask, good luck in your next games.
Yeah, thanks.
And yeah, hopefully we'll be streaming you again at some point. Get you back on for another
I'm
interview
sure
after
that
another victory.
yeah, I'm sure that OC game will be on stream at some point.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
sure. For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We will say goodbye to Killian, and we will say goodbye to you guys for a little bit. We do have 2 Division 1 matches coming up, which we will preview shortly. But while we're getting that all set up, we'll throw to a short break and be back with you in about 5 minutes' time. Do not go anywhere.